This presentation is on Applied Global Logistics and Supply Chain Challenges in Biotechnology by Jason Hogeboom. My current employer, Audenics Therapeutics, is a startup biotech company. Therefore, we do not have a supply chain in place as of yet, as we're still working out the manufacturing process and don't have a product in the market. Although we are still getting our warehouse in order, and supply chain is something that we will be focusing on soon. So the focus of this paper will be on supply chain issues in the biotechnology industry in order to give Audenics recommendations for the future. The pharmaceutical industry is closely related to the biotech industry and shares many of the same issues as biotechnology from a supply chain standpoint. Therefore, we will also be looking at some of the challenges in that industry as well. So, just what is biotechnology anyways? In 1919, a Hungarian agricultural engineer named Karl Erecki foresaw a time that through biotechnology, raw materials could be turned into useful products that he coined the term biotechnology. There are many products using biotechnology, such as medicines, medical devices, diagnostics, more resilient crops, biofuels, biomaterials, pollution controls, and the list keeps growing. My field in biotechnology focuses on biotechnology medicines. Biotechnology medicines are large, complex molecules made up of a protein structure, as in contrast to pharmaceuticals, which are typically small molecules made up of a chemical structure. Think aspirin, antibiotics, antidepressants, and blood pressure drugs. But again, they are in similar industries and deal with similar issues. There are three top issues recognized in the supply chain with biotechnology. First up is the lab mentality. Biotech companies tend to retain their entrepreneurial spirit, which can result in different groups and functions being ran independently. This can also result in information not being shared amongst various groups and product lines. Another issue is dealing with contract manufacturing organizations, or CMOs. They are third-party manufacturers who tend to be difficult to get information from, and they are also slow to respond to changes in the process. And finally, standardization is quite difficult because biomanufacturing is unique, unstable, and inherently complex. In order to do due diligence on this subject, it's important to look at challenges in the pharmaceutical supply chain industry as well, since we are closely related and really do face many of the same issues. In this slide, you could see the results of a survey that was done by questioning many executives and supply chain personnel throughout the industry. The number one issue is lack of coordination, which we also saw as one of the top three issues with the biotech industry. They tend to suffer from fragmentation and silos of the current system. Another issue is inventory management, which includes quantification, inventory levels, availability management, and stock counts. Number three issue is demand information. It is often unknown and or aggregated. The fourth one is human resource dependency. There are issues with a lack of expertise, training, and personal capability. The fifth is order management, which includes planning, ordering, and follow-up. The sixth issue is shortage. Shortages lead to expensive emergency orders, frequent replenishment, frequent ordering, and high inventory. Expiration of products is also an issue. People tend to fail to follow the first expired, first out, or FIFO rule. Warehouse management also tends to be an issue, which includes procedures or lack of procedures and organization. Temperature control is the ninth issue cited, which includes failure to monitor at all levels and just a failure to keep the temperature where it needs to be in both transit and in storage. If we were looking at the biotech industry, temperature control would be much higher on this list because biotech drugs seem to be much more sensitive and have a need for tighter controls versus a pharmaceutical. And finally, shipment visibility. This includes in-transit, delays, and arrival visibility. So after looking at these issues in biotech and pharmaceutical industry, my recommendation for Audenics in order to get their supply chain up and running is obviously to obtain an inventory software system, a nice, robust, up-to-date system. I think that's one of the most important things today. Another suggestion would be to completely move away from CMOs. This gives us much better control over our process, over the data, and over changes to the process that we need to make. I would recommend also to build coordination into the culture from the ground up. We're at the time where we can really emphasize this and build it into our systems, our culture, and our people. Since we don't have a lot of data right now to collect, we can collect what data we are getting from some of our suppliers, even though we're not getting things in regularly, but we could kind of get an idea of what their typical lead times look at and things of that nature. We need to also seek out reliable demand information, shipment visibility, and to ensure to follow and adhere to first expired, first out procedures. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for watching.